What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you message me on YouTube, I will make a video if you request it. We have Phil over here requesting what is the difference of FDCPX, the Fidelity Select Tech hardware, and can we compare it to FSELX? So that's the video. We're going to break that down right now. Let's get into it. So taking a look here, he wants to compare the Fidelity Select Tech hardware portfolio, FDCPX, to Fidelity Select Semiconductors, FSELX. Now, this is what happens when you compare these index funds. You will see that there are major differences. So let's just go through it so he can get this answer. If you're just going to buy FSELX, I want you to think just semiconductors. It's basically just a subsector that focuses on companies that design, manufacture, distribute these microchips. And I will go down on Fidelity and show you these specific companies after we get through this breakdown. All right, so I want you to think of it as AI, smartphones, EVs. They're the building blocks, modern technology. If you do the tech hardware, though, this is more broader industry. You're not as concentrated as FSELX, so you get that broader industry fund focused on the physical products and infrastructure of technology. It invests in companies making these smartphones, computers, servers, networking, storage devices, and components. That's a big difference when you're investing in FDCPX compared to FSELX. Now, if you look at the top holdings now, this is the big difference. If you look at FSELX, NVIDIA is a monster portion of it. I'll show you on Fidelity. It's like almost 20% of FSELX, and it has performed very well because the last 2 years have been incredible for FSELX. When you look at FDCPX, this is all hardware and consumer tech giants, like we said. Apple is usually your largest holding in this, and we'll break that down even further. But you also get Cisco, Dell, Hewlett, and Western Digital, which is a big percentage of it. Now, you have to remember, if you're going to invest in FSELX, you're getting that concentration risk. So you're going to have high volatility when semiconductors go on that downturn. But in bull markets, you are going to be outperforming the S&P 500. And that's really what's happened over the couple of years. We'll break that down in a little bit. But the semiconductor industry is notoriously cyclical. And it talks about how a boom and a bust basically on supply and demand. And now with this AI boom, they need all these chips. You see Jensen Huang talking about it. He's just making deals with every single company out there. So obviously, long term, we made a video on FSELX, and this thing has gone ROI over 100% since we made that video, which is awesome. Then you have FDCPX, where it's more stable, but you have to remember it's still tech. So tech is very sensitive, and it relies more on the servers and the networking, like iPhones, Macs, stuff like that, networking, as we discussed before. Historical performance, though, just because it's done well in the past doesn't mean it's going to keep outperforming, but currently, if you look at the history right now, FSELX has significantly outperformed FDCPX. But I'll show you some gains that FDCPX has. It has 100% gains in less than 1 year, which is pretty impressive. But you have to remember, FSELX is really driven by NVIDIA's demand for AI and their chips. So that's really pushed it because it's almost 20% of the portfolio. If you look at FDCPX, it has solid returns because of Apple's steady growth, but it's all about like traditional PCs and enterprise networking. So it's usually slower pace, cutting edge chip sector, etc. Cost and fees, I'll go over that with you when we go over the Fidelity on that. But this is the key big differences. If you want like aggressive growth in FSELX, you are betting on the AI revolution, but you got to remember you are going to be basically having all your chips in NVIDIA, right? Because that's a huge percentage, so over 20%, which I'm going to show you in about 20 seconds. And then FDCPX, it's all about technology fund that's anchored towards Apple and basically the infrastructure giant. So if you want that mix, you could pay a higher expense ratio, but let's get into it. Let me show you actually on the Fidelity website. So guys, let's take a look at this Fidelity Select Tech hardware portfolio, ticker symbol FDCPX. I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the big things here so we can really get a good comparison, okay? So just pay attention for 2 minutes and you'll learn a big difference here. So when you look at this, ticker symbol FDCPX, currently trading at an NAV price of $223. It currently has a 5-star rating, which is interesting because the 10-year returns are 26% a year, but you cannot forget about the expense ratio, which we will get into. But in the last year, it's up 134%, so that is massive, and we will get into that. When you break down, this index fund invests only in companies that have greater than $10 billion that fund managers believe are poised for growth. You are paying for this fee. So because they are actively doing this, you are paying a higher fee. It's actively managed. When you look at the top 10 holdings, Western Digital is 11%, Cisco is 11%, Samsung is 7%, Apple is 6%. It's gone down over the years because these ones they believe are going to give higher returns. With this index fund, though, you only have 41 holdings. So it's a very interesting, very concentrated 41 companies within one index fund that you agree to pay a 0.67% expense ratio, which we will go over. But if you look at the asset allocation, the domestic equities is 63% in US. But if you look at the international, this is where it gets interesting. You have developed markets 17%, emerging markets 16%. So they're finding these companies all over the world. It's not just the US. You have United States at 63%, but then you have Japan at 13%, Korea at 10%. And it's interesting to think maybe Korea and Japan, maybe this is the way to go, because you're seeing these great, excellent gains of over 100% in 1 year. That is absolutely insane. 3 years, 50% returns. You can't ask for better than that. I mean, I don't mind paying this fee and distribution if you can get those gains. Now, obviously, is it going to be like that every single year? Most likely not. Because every $1,000 you have invested, you're paying $6.70. That's pretty wild there. So pretty big expense ratio, but if you're making 100% returns, you don't care about that expense ratio. That's totally normal. Not a big deal. Nothing to worry about with that. I just wanted to show you now. This was FDCPX. Now let's take a look at FSELX. This is the Fidelity Select Semiconductors portfolio. Guys, I made a video on this on my YouTube channel, breaking it down in detail. So we're not going to spend too much time on this. I just want to make sure that he has his questions answered. And if you look here, NAV price $69, 5-star rating, 10-year return 36% a year at average, which is incredible. And FSELX has returned a 155% gain return, which is incredible. But if you have a down market, this is going to sell off if the cyclical for semiconductors does wear off. I mean, if you look at NVIDIA, it's 22% of FSELX. Broadcom, which I love this company, is at 13% allocation. I like those guys. I have them individually. And if you look at semiconductors, that is 5.8%. And then you have On Semiconductors, 5%. And then you also have Astra Labs. So there's a few companies in FSELX that I think are very good. And it only has 70 holdings. So you're comparing 70 holdings in FSELX compared to the other index fund that has 41 holdings. But you have this massive concentration in NVIDIA, Broadcom, Marvel, On, and Astera Labs. So you better understand these companies because these 10 holdings make up 76% of the portfolio. So that's very big when you think about it. You have to think about those. Do you believe in these companies long term? It's actively managed. You have this gentleman right here, this primary manager, Adam Benjamin. He's been doing it since 2020. So they handpick these stocks, choose the allocations, and right now they look like geniuses. They are outperforming the S&P 500. If you look here, they made 86% returns from 1 year ago compared to S&P 500's 17%. And if you look at the last 10 years, they've made double, 31% versus 14%. So FSELX is definitely something that is very interesting. And when you look at the composition, I just want to show you, it's mainly semiconductors. Look at this. Semiconductors make up 90%. Then you have a little bit of this hardware and electronic components and all that, which make up about, less than 10% of it. So that is definitely something you want to consider there. But it's all pretty much domestic equities at 89%, and international equities is really only 8.49%. So it's just something to keep in mind, but they both invest over greater than $10 billion in the funds poised for growth. So that's what you need to think about when you're going to invest in FSELX versus FDCPX. Now, I hope this answers the question of breaking down the difference between them, and I'll post the FSELX because I have a very detailed video at the end of this one for you, just so if you want to focus just on FSELX, because I have this as 15% of my retirement portfolio, and I've held this for over 10 years, so it's done very good. And you can look at the 10-year return is over 36%, which is really nice. If you guys like these comparison videos, please hit that thumbs up button, comment below, and definitely check out the WAP. If you're interested in joining the trading community and gaining priority access like that, you can click right here, join our trading community, which is at wap.com/trading simplified. And if you want the blueprint that I have that's made me successful in day trading, you can also click on the link below, which shows the wap.com Trading Simplified Premium, which is basically a one-time purchase where you get the complete blueprint. We have over 35 chapters, and there's basically like 120 lessons in there when it comes to EMA strategies and buying the dip and VWAP strategy, break and retest, all that fun stuff. And if you want to join the community where you pay a monthly fee and you gain access to over 25 members, you can also do that as well. So definitely click on the WAP, check that out. And if you just want to support the YouTube channel because you like what I do and you feel like maybe I taught you something and it's helped you in your journey of investing, you can always just click the join button here and become a member and have your name up here, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate the OGs that really support the channel, and definitely part of the WAP. If you want to directly chat 24/7, you could always do that as well. But we have a bunch of free videos on YouTube as well for all you guys. You can always go through the playlist. You can go through the videos. There's a lot on here. And I like taking the time to answer your questions. So this is a video dedicated just to Phil. So I hope you appreciate this video. Please hit the thumbs up button. And the most I could ask for is thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you so much, guys.